Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know, my name's Ashantae, and on Mondays we review Insecure, but today's Tuesday, so on Tuesday we're reviewing Insecure. And if you guys want to know what I think about this latest episode of Insecure, stay tuned with Molly. I kind of feel like this episode was a lot shorter than the rest of them. This episode didn't really have that much going on. I guess it did have a lot going on. We find out that Issa likes to eat hot Cheetos in bed, and she has this fantasy of eating hot Cheetos by Daniel. So that was the first scene. That was 2 minutes in. And then we see Issa and Molly at this bougie ass dog place. I realized that Molly's just fucking bougie. She got her dog a blueberry facial and then a paw massage. And then Molly's really excited about working at an all-black firm. I totally understand how that is. I grew up in the suburbs, and I was literally always one of maybe 2 or 3 black people. Most of the times I was just the only black person. So I was used to just being the only black person. I didn't really think anything of it until I got older, and I was just like, yeah, where is everybody? I know how Molly feels when she's like, oh, this is gonna be exciting. There's gonna be shea butter in the bathroom. This is gonna be great, you know? And then she finds out Issa is going to be staying with Daniel, and then she finds out Issa is now sleeping in Daniel's bed. Molly's like, why are you gonna stay there? The couch can't be that comfortable. And she looks at Issa, and Issa's like, what? You know, I got a bad neck. So we find out that Issa is that friend who has to have several of the same lessons to realize that that lesson is a bad lesson. And I think that lesson's name is Daniel. Yeah. Molly is now meeting the people at her new firm, and she's just so, over the moon. She's like ready to bring out all of her black jokes so people now understand what she's talking about, and she's gonna be one amongst the people. But this reminds me of, was it season 1? It was season 1, where Molly told the other black attorney to kind of dial it down, dial the blackness down. And Molly is in there doing the same thing. So it's just funny to see that dynamic where Molly was the, Molly was the, she had to be like, I feel like Molly had to be like the good black person, you know, like the one who couldn't vary from, like, she didn't want anybody to think that she was a stereotype in any way, shape, or form. So and that's how she got by, was not being a stereotype and not being the huge black boisterous person, the black person who always has jokes, you know? And now in this new firm, she is that person. So now we have Daniel, who's finally with Khalil, who's now like one step away from having Spider listen to his music, and Daniel doesn't want to take anybody's advice because it's his music. And fuck, sucks for him, because Daniel was like, okay, I have this track that, you know, I want him to listen to. And then Khalil's like, yeah, that sounds sick, but how about we do it this way? And Daniel starts to argue with him a little bit, and Khalil's just like, okay, but like, I'm trying to help you out. Like, don't look a gift horse in the dick. And Daniel is just, obviously Daniel didn't even know what he was doing. Maybe if he did know what he was doing, he would have stopped. But all Daniel had to do, literally all Daniel had to do, was listen to, or we see all 4 ladies at dinner. And Molly is just complaining about how she has to log her own hours. There's no courier. There's storages in her office, which low-key I could see how that can be annoying. But she's also new, and this is a new firm for her. And Molly at my old firm is just she's not even having it. And Kelly calls her out on it. And Kelly's like, we're always harder on our own people than we are anybody else. And then Molly says, why do black businesses always have to be on the struggle? And I feel like she's not even giving the business a chance. She is just coming in from a place of great expectations, and all of her frustrations are her own fault. She perceived this company to be like this black utopia, and at the end of the day, it's just a regular law firm like all the other law firms, and hers was just a unique experience. So then Issa tells everybody that she's now going to be staying with Daniel. And I feel like they were alluding to something greater that happened in her past that involved Daniel. Girl has blinders on. And I think the only reason why she has blinders on is because she is financially in a situation where she has to have blinders on. And I think a lot of girls or a lot of women in this position, that like this is how a lot of women get into this position where they're just with some dude that doesn't respect them and they just put up with their shit because they really kind of have to, because they have nowhere else to go. This dinner, Issa got the talk again from all of her girlfriends. This is what you need good girlfriends for, to be like, girl, listen, you can do this on your own. You don't need him. You don't need him. So then we see Issa, Frida, and Antoinette, who we saw back at the job fair, and they're sitting in the office, and Frida's talking about, we got y'all, and trying to like play it up for her, make her feel comfortable, and she looks at Issa and she's like, things come in five guys, five toes. And she was just insanely, I thought she was so rude. She was so rude. And so Antoinette's just kind of, you know, Antoinette just wants the job, you know. So I feel like once you've dealt with racial discrimination in any way, shape, or form at a workplace, it sucks, and it feels very empty. It feels very lonely. And so when you see another black person, you ask, like you secretly ask, how is it for you? Oh, what do you think about it? And you have heavy emphasis on the you, as opposed to saying, what is like being black here? Issa was just like, you know, it's good. And then she was like, how long have you been here? And Issa said 5 years. And Antoinette said, wow, you must really like it. And then Issa was like, and I was just kind of like, girl, just, I don't know. I feel sorry for Issa. I feel like Issa is just trying to do her best at whatever it is she wants to do. You can tell she's loyal because she's been with this company for 5 years. And what has she done? Like, where is she at? You know what I mean? And so now this new person is coming in, and I feel like the reason why, I don't know, somebody help me out on this, because I just don't know why Issa was just so, not short or coy, but it was just really silent and evasive, maybe? Yeah. I think it's because Issa mentally already has 1 foot out the door. And I say that because she then goes to her computer afterwards and she looks up the website to Beat Crew. And I just feel like once you've been somewhere for a while, you realize it's not going to change. And the only way you can change that situation is if you walk away from it. And I think that's where Issa is with that. So we see Molly back at the law firm in the morning meeting. And, you know, they're talking about how things run and how things go, and she's like, I love it, I love this, oh, I love black people, look at us. And it was the exact thing Regina had, and then she asks where somebody is, and then she's like, oh, is he on PC time? And then someone checks her, and she's like, well, actually, the guy sitting next to her, he was like, I guess at her other law firm, they started on time. And everybody started to laugh, and Molly was just like, oh shit. I hope somebody gives Molly more time than Molly gave Regina, you know? That's what I hope for Molly in this whole situation. Daniel finally gets Spider in the room, and Daniel's like, okay, I have these beats. And so Khalil's like, yeah, why don't you play him those beats we set up? And Daniel's like, yeah, okay. And then he plays his wimpy ass jazz flute shit. And Spider's like, yeah, man, that's dope. And then Khalil's like, why don't you play him the stuff we worked on? And I was just like, dude, like that's all you had to do was just play the stuff that you guys worked on. And so then Daniel plays it, and then Spider's like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. And so now Spider's conflicted. And Khalil was like, no, man, don't worry about it. I have some other stuff. And so that relationship is now over because Daniel didn't do just the one thing he had to do, which was press play on Issa to say thank you. As a show of appreciation, Issa takes Daniel out to lunch, right? To this really nice place overlooking the water, the pier. There was a bunch of boats. And Daniel naturally is upset because he fucked shit up with Khalil. And so Issa is just trying to, she's just trying to kind of keep the conversation moving. She's like, oh my gosh, is that Jay-Z and Beyonce? He looks and she goes, no, it's Amir, it's us, we cute. And then he starts laughing and he's like, okay. And so she tells him that she's going to take the job offer at the apartment complex. And for some reason he gets upset and he's like, okay, that's how you're gonna do me? And I'm just like, whoa, what? Toxic. And she was just like, work on us, give us our space, which is a really mature thing to do, Issa. And then he's just like, I'm just really upset about the whole, how things went down with me and Khalil. She was like, what happened? And he told her. And then she was like, well, why don't you just apologize? Which, that's what you should do, apologize. Say, hey man, I'm sorry, look, I just wanted you to just play that song or whatever. And he was like, because it's my music. And then she's like, yeah, but he was telling you what Spider wanted. Like, the guy was telling you, okay, Spider likes this. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do this. So Issa says, well, why don't you just apologize? And then Daniel becomes this jerk and starts laughing. And she's like, what? And he says, I just think it's funny that you're giving me career advice. And she was like, what does that mean? And he was like, you don't really know what it's like to care about what you do. And I felt so hurt for her because, I totally get Issa, and I could see the hurt in her eyes and she was just like, what? And I feel like just because what she's trying to do, whatever that may be, is different than what he's doing, he doesn't value what she's doing. And I think that's really fucked up. And she finds it fucked up too. And then he says that he is always having to save her. And she goes, wow, is that really how you feel? And boom, that's how he feels. And Daniel tries to apologize with how most guys try to apologize, with their penis. And Issa is kind of going for it a little bit. And then she's like, no, I can't. And I was so proud of her for that, because why be with somebody who's not going to respect you? This is what everybody was telling her, that her and Daniel aren't good together. And although it may seem convenient, it's not what is this convenience worth? I tell people all the time, I'd rather be friends with you forever than sleep with you for a couple of weeks. Because that's how it is. That's how it is. And then people get mad, and then things get weird. So just be friends. At what point are you going to risk convenience over friendship? Because I think the convenience of living rent-free on this dude's bed who you like, and you want to work things out with, is overshadowing the fact that the dude they're not good as a couple, they're just good as friends. And the convenience is going to ruin the friendship, because they're just not good as a couple. They should just be friends. I love the show, guys. I love the show. And if you love this show too, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's talk about this. Let's get through this together. Ooh, another show that I like, that I just found out about, I didn't just find out about, is Random Acts of Flyness. Oh my gosh, that show is amazing. And if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's a lot of mini stories that intertwine with each other, and I think it comes on every Friday night. That is an awesome show too. Okay guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. I will see you guys next Monday for another review.